Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Homeowners impacted by flooding have been working tirelessly over the past week to salvage what they can.
And as they continue to clean their homes, officials from the city of Rock Valley, Iowa say that it is important to be aware of potential health hazards.
We are encouraging everyone to get a tetanus shot. We're seeing people with some cuts, lacerations, and so having your tetanus shot up to date is very important.
Mold might also become an issue. Rock Valley has disinfectant available to their volunteers in their tent across from the police station.
A Sioux Falls-based food truck has been working to feed families in Rock Valley. On Thursday, Big Papa's food truck provided food for about 1,000 people.
We wanted to try and do as much as possible. We got blessed with a couple great volunteers that stepped in and really helped launch our Facebook group, and then that just kind of got the ball rolling, and the donations have been rolling in and the support has been fantastic.
The food truck will be in Canton today at the Methodist Church, and on July 8th it'll be at McCook Lake in North Sioux City at the Isaac Walton League. If you would like to volunteer or donate, we have attached a link with information under this story on KELOLAND.com.
Many people have been affected by flooding down in McCook Lake, including several kids. Adams Homestead and Nature Preserve in McCook Lake wanted to help kids take their minds off the situation. About 16 kids attended the free day camp, and it included time with friends, games, and a few hours of peace.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend, cooler weekend. So if they just need to take a break from cleaning up or doing other things, we hopefully can provide them a spot just to take a little time off of what they've been dealing with.
The park is open daily. Management reminds everyone that their visitor center remains closed due to no electricity. Now let's check in with meteorologist Scott Munt. After a nice sunny weekend, going to start the week and July with some rain.
We are following showers, thunderstorms for today, even some developing thunderstorms in parts of eastern and southeastern KELOLAND as we do go through the morning hours. Temperatures today will range from near 70 in eastern South Dakota to the lower 90s across the plains of western KELOLAND. Futurecast trying to bring in these showers and thunderstorms as we do go through the morning. You do see that across eastern and southeastern South Dakota. More details on your forecast coming up with Brian.
Thank you, Scott. The Sanford Underground Research Facility, or SURF, is one of the premier underground science locations in the world. Every summer, SURF looks for interns to help grow many different fields in science. KELOLAND News spoke to some of the aspiring scientists who are working at the lab this summer.
With ventilation underground, it's making sure that there's enough airflow, and we're monitoring all of that through sensors, and we'll go down once a week to make sure, at least on the 4850, to make sure all the airflow is properly flowing through where it needs to be.
This summer, SURF has 9 interns working and learning several different career paths in the world of science.
Motorcyclists revved their engines Saturday for the Emily's Hope Poker Run. The 100-mile route took riders throughout the Sioux Falls area. The nonprofit's mission includes saving lives through education and helping those who have been impacted by substance use.
It's so important because fentanyl is the #1 killer of people ages 18 to 45, and we all need to be doing more to turn this drug epidemic around.
100% of the proceeds from the Poker Run go toward furthering the mission of Emily's Hope to stop the stigma and save lives.
Other people pedaled toward a good cause Saturday. Bikes and Brews is a fundraiser for HeartWorks, a nonprofit doing research to help people with congenital heart defects. The 10-mile bike ride was organized by the parents of 2-year-old Cora Millar. The little Sioux Falls girl was born with half of a heart, a condition known as hypoplastic left heart surgery, and the only cure is left heart syndrome, and the only cure is surgery. The bike ride and 1-mile walk ended with a celebration at Severance Brewing Company. And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, watching your weather here the next 24 hours as we do have the Chance of thunderstorms, and of course with that we need to watch to see if we get some heavy rain. Now, first of all, to explain this graphic here, this is what we call the excessive rain outlook. This is a product produced by the Weather Prediction Center, and they tabulate the statistical probability within what we call the slight risk zone. So we oftentimes refer to that when we talk about severe weather chances. But this particular graphic just looks at the heavy rain, and it does embed the probability here across our southeastern counties of South Dakota, southwest Minnesota, a big part of western and northwest Iowa, northeast Nebraska. Now, this first round of rain is going to rake through this area. We're not looking necessarily at high probabilities of widespread heavy rain with this. I would say the amounts, in fact, I was just checking rain gauges down here in Nebraska. A lot of these numbers are 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch. There have been some pretty hefty totals around Lexington, Nebraska, and Kearney, upwards of 2 inches of rain. I would be concerned about some of those kind of things angling up our way here by this evening. I'll talk more about that in a second. Now, this is the severe weather map. Now, this pertains to the chance of hail or strong damaging winds, isolated tornado threat. It's kind of a broad zone, isn't it? You look from eastern Wyoming all the way to western Minnesota, clear up into North Dakota, down into central Nebraska. So let's bring this in a little bit here and see what we can pick out of Futurecast. First of all, this subject here in the southeast, showers, thunderstorms, they've been kind of expanding and growing as they get towards Sioux Falls. So we want to ramp up that rain chance this morning in Sioux Falls, at least to 50% levels. I'm okay with hanging on to some of this into the early afternoon. Big difference in temperature. Sioux Falls with clouds and showers, we're hard pressed to get much above 70. Meanwhile, southwest South Dakota is going to get way up into the upper 80s or low 90s. And then we're going to have ample opportunity for storms to refire in that direction. And then those storms and those cells will take off to the northeast. I think it's highly probable that at least a couple of these clusters will turn strong to severe. We've had some information suggesting some downburst winds within a couple of these storms could be at least at 70, if not 80-mile-an-hour winds in a couple of patches here. So keep that in mind. If we end up getting those 90s out there around Phillip and Midland, I would not be shocked at all if a storm came through that environment and had quite a punch to it. Now, the next item up for business is what to do with the southeast after temperatures being kind of capped off here during the day. The best energy potential kind of sneaks in from Norfolk and Yankton, and watch what happens here on Futurecast. It tries to continue to blow up some thunderstorm cells in the southeast. If those thunderstorms develop, and I do think they will be around, the ample depth of moisture in the atmosphere, if you were to take the atmosphere and just cut it with a knife and you look up at the profile, we got a lot of tropical moisture sitting over the southeast. So thunderstorms can kind of tap into that. And what that's going to yield is probably a couple of county clustered areas will get some 2-inch rains. I think that will be out there. I don't think this is going to get necessarily out of hand with huge amounts of rain, but it is early July. We've got to kind of keep an eye on that. Hopefully these cells will move along. That's kind of the key. We don't want to have any one particular spot keep training on thunderstorms. So we'll just keep an eye on it. We've got more information coming your direction for midday in KELOLAND. I know that whole topic is not exactly a good one for many of us in the southeast, but at any rate, today's forecast looking at those differences in temperatures. 70 Sioux Falls versus 92 in Phillip. Let's zoom in into your 7-day. Next item up for business is the 4th of July day forecast. What are we going to do with this rain chance? Well, it is 60%. It looks like there will be rain moving in across South Dakota on the day on Thursday. So just keep watching that. We got a little time to kind of work out the details, but I see a chance of rain already right off the bat, probably as early as Wednesday night or Thursday morning. That applies to Aberdeen. It's probably one of our better chances of rain during the 7-day. And you'll notice Pierre is also looking at that rain chance on Thursday, where highs will likely be in the 80s. And by the way, the weekend does look better. If you like drier weather, highs in the mid-80s. Overall, pretty good forecast. Rapid City, too, I would tend to tone down the rain chance by the end of the week. But between now and then, we still have several chances of showers and thunderstorms. Check out details online at KELOLAND.com.